Hi everyone, and welcome to the Curl Pearl Girl Knits podcast, episode 6, I believe. I didn't check before recording, I'm sorry. I believe it's episode 6. I am Catherine, your host for today. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back, and if you are a new viewer, well, thank you so much for checking me out today. We are Friday, November 11th, so it is Remembrance Day. It is my day off today, so I took the opportunity to record a podcast. I didn't record one last week like I would have normally do because I am really, really, really busy at work at the moment, and I didn't knit a lot in the last few weeks because I've been so tired from coming back from work, and I've tried to knit the simplest thing, but I am still so tired that I'm making mistakes, and I don't want to make mistakes in my project, or at least as minimal as possible. And so I didn't knit a lot. I was extremely tired, and so I really do not have a lot to show you at the moment. I will show you two projects that I've been working on for a while. It's only knitting projects. So I have the Umaro blanket that I'm doing for a friend, and one socks for my partner that is actually completely finished. So this is what I'm going to show you today. As well, to make this episode a little bit more interesting for you guys, I've decided to show you what I've bought at the Fiber Shining, who was 4 weeks ago. It was when I uploaded the other episode, but because I was having so many issues trying to upload it, I decided to not add the addition of what I got in there because I did record before going there, a day or two before, and it was just way more complicated last week. I still ended up again on the tech support with trying to have someone helping me out because I do have issues with my computer, clearly, but hopefully this is going to be solved out, and hopefully this episode will go out not too long after the recording, and hopefully everything will go well. So I will show you what I got at the Fiber Shining, and I will also show you my year of socks that I want to do next year in 2017. Because I believe I do have everything. I may switch one of the yarn that I've chose for it, but other than that, I do have my 12 skeins of yarn, and in December I will ask my partner to put them in paper in bags that I can't see what's in it. And because I'm going to ask him to do that, I don't know if it's going to be between now and the next episode or if it's going to be after that episode, but it's going to be soon. So because it's going to be soon, I will show you before they all get into their own individual bags. So let's get started, shall we? So knitting wise, Umaro blanket, this is my priority at the moment because there is a deadline and I can't wait too much to knit on it. It goes really fast though, I have to admit. It does go fast, but it is a blanket, so it is bigger, so I need time for it. And since I didn't do a lot last week because, like I said previously, I was extremely tired from work, it is not going as fast as I wanted. I'm almost halfway done, which is good. But I know that in the next week, so between tomorrow and next Friday, I know that I will not have time to knit at all because of work. I will be doing extremely long hours and I will be extremely busy. So this is taking a week away from me for knitting purposes. But, so here is, let me grab the second. Before everything gets out of the needles. So this is the Umaro blanket. Da, 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 da. And so my marker right down here, the little red marker, was where I was the last time I podcast. So it did grow up considerably since the last time we talked. I barely had one repeat, I believe, the last time I talked to you guys, and now I do have a couple, which is nice though because now you can actually see the pattern a little bit better than on the previous episode, and I really, really like how it's turning out. I like the look of it. it's it's a pattern without having too much going on in it. And there's a little bit of cable and a little bit of yarn overs, and I really, really do like how it's knitting it up. And it's fairly large. I don't have a cable long enough to show all of you, but um, it is fairly large. It's enough to be two people underneath that blanket, and that was the goal of it. And lengthwise, I'm about 2/3 of my legs up. So, and this is my second ball of yarn, which is 2/3 used up 2/3 of it so far. So I have 1/3 left of it, and after I use that 1/3, I believe I'll be about halfway through. I think that 4 balls will be enough to have a big enough blanket without being extremely huge. But I will see at the end of the 3rd ball where I am in lengthwise and see if I may use 5 instead of 4. I may also look at the time that I have, because that will also dictate, if I have time to knit another ball in the blanket, or if I just go with 4. But I have basically about a month, give or take, to finish this up, and I think it's doable. I think that after next week, I'll be able to knit on it fairly considerably, but for sure next week. Unless I try to bring it to work and maybe during like lunchtime, but it's a big project to bring to work to knit on. So I'll see. I'll see what I'll do. To be frankly honest with you guys, I don't believe I will bring this to work because it is big and we don't have a lot of space to set our stuff around, and I don't see how I can manage that. There might be one day where I'm gonna have a big 3-hour or 4-hour break within my day. Then on that day I may be able to bring it with me, but I may just bring something that's just easier to carry around than that huge humongous blanket. I also like the little border. It is knitting up pretty nicely. I am knitting this on my Addi Click interchangeable set. It is the metal tips, and I am doing this on an 8mm, which is a US 11 needle. And for the yarn information, it's all go on the last episode. I do talk about what yarn I use. I just feel like I've been talking about this and the sock enough now that you guys know what I'm using, and if you liked it, you would have probably looked it up by now. But go have a look. If not, there's the show notes on Ravelry that you can also refer to the previous episodes to know which yarns I'm using for this. So once again, Umaru Blanket by Dared Flood, or I think it's Flood, but Flood. I'll put the name below, and I'm sorry if I am really not pronouncing this correctly. And my hoe, I finished one of the socks that my partner's been patiently waiting for. This is, like I say, this is a really great bus knit for me because it's knitted. It's just knit stitch. There's no pattern. It's just plain knit. And I can basically knit about, I think, an inch during my bus ride to go to work. But I'm not going to take the bus anymore to go to work from now on for a little bit. So I'll see how the second socks comes up. But my bus ride was what actually pushed it a little bit more to be done. I do not have a men's sock blocker. I only have my sock blocker, which I love. They're a little sheep. And this is bought at the Lupigu and I love them. They're gorgeous. I am eventually gonna I'll eventually reorganize all my yarn and fiber stash upstairs. It is right now in the closet of my partner's office. And so I wanted to kind of make it better and prettier, and it's all like in bags and in little boxes. So I'll try to find like a nice drawer or furniture of some sort that I can work around and make it pretty. And my hope is to actually put those sock blocker, because there's a pin over here, so I may just like put it on the wall or something so that they're pretty and easy to access and something. But let's go back to the socks. So I did a rounded toe. Rounded toe. This is basically my vanilla sock recipe that I'm doing. I'm just doing it bigger for him, basically. So I did a rounded toe. I did 72 stitches around. I did a fish lip kiss heel. And I did 87 rows between my fish lip kiss heel and my toe. And for the leg of it, I did 87 rows up, and I did 20 rows of, oh, here we go, of a tutu rib. And I did a stretchy bind off. My hair is messy today. Oh well. And so this is what I did. I did it because this is normally how I do my socks. The same numbers of rows on my feet, and then the same numbers of rows for my leg. And as he tried it on, I kind of realized that the leg was too long for him. He's still okay with it. He doesn't mind it. I'll know for the next one to not do that for him because he has really long feet. And so it works for me and makes it okay for me, but clearly way too long for him. So what I may do is that because when I knit, I just knit and then I see when it gets to the same point and then I start my things. So I may just actually, next time that I need a pair of socks for myself, see how many rows I do for myself and then try to transfer that for him on the next pair of socks that I'm gonna knit him. So the progress keeper was where I was the last time I showed you guys. So I think I just turned the heel and I was about 5 or 6 rows within the leg, and now I've finished it. So one ho, yay! And I did the mistake of actually not casting on the next socks right after I binded off this one. So it's still not started. I'm actually do that today so that I do get it started and ready to go. Because if I don't do that soon enough, I think there's not going to be a second sock for that pair of socks. So that was my 2 knitted project that I've knitted on for the last couple of weeks. Like I say, one was my bust bride knit, and the other one was just what I was doing when I was coming back from work really late at night, and I just had to like knit 1 or 2 row on it, and I was good to go. But yeah, so fiber sanding, yay! It was my first time going to the fiber sanding in Calgary. It was crazy. I have to say, I went as it opened in the morning, but there was so many people, and it was kind of a small room. I was expecting bigger than that, knowing how popular it is, and it was a small room. It was packed, and as soon as it opened, everybody went there when it opened in the morning. Because you kind of have to go, like, if you really want to have choices, you have to go earlier in the day, of course. If you do go later in the day, a lot of the good a lot of the stuff is just gone because everybody goes first thing in the morning. It's kind of a cycle there. So I went there. I was really, really happy with it though. I've met a few people that I've chatted with before, but never met in person. So that was wonderful for that purpose. And also wonderful because Spinzilla just ended a little bit before that, and I had no more fiber anymore, so I needed more fiber. And I also needed my sock yarn to finish my 2017 year of sock packages that I needed. So here is what I got from Flock Fiber Studio. Here's the tag. Here's this fiber. It is gorgeous. It is simply gorgeous. I have nothing else to say. There's a little bit of Selena in it, as you can see. And I was able to get 2 braids of it. And it's the first thing that I've seen, and there was a lot of people at the stand when I was there, and I did grab both. And I looked around to make sure that this is what I wanted, but I actually grabbed it while I was still looking to make sure that I would have it. Because there was a lot of people looking at it and looking at the fibers around it, and I really wanted it. And I got it. I got the 2 braids of it. It is... I'm going to butcher this name. I am so sorry. Hoarfrost fiber? Hoarfrost fiber, I believe. So it is 84% superwash merino, 16% sparkling stellina. It is a total of 4 ounces, and it is the color Antique Shop. I could look at this fiber all day. I don't know why. I can't pinpoint why I like this so much. But I really, really, really do. I think this was my best purchase of the day. So I got 2 of those. And I also got 2 of those. I find that color mix of green and blue stunning. I love greens and blues in the cooler. I'm gonna say that. I think I need more coffee today. In the cooler range of the spectrum of color. And I do prefer like red and oranges on the warmer side of the color range. And this is by the Wacky Windmill. Here's the tag. And it says, the Wacky Windmill, have you had your daily dose of fiber? And it is by Kim Ward, who is the owner of the company. So this is 50% superwash merino. It's falling apart. 50% superwash merino, 50% seashell, which I've never spun before. And that's one of the things why I was attracted to it. It's super soft, but I've never spent seashell before. So it is approximately 4 ounces, and the color is Happiness is the Truth. So once again, I mean, look at those 2 colors, guys. Like, this just simply makes me happy. I bought one more fiber, And it was by Sarah Elizabeth. I'm totally blanking on her last name right now. Ooh. I'll put the name below. Because she's a wonderful woman. And what she does is incredible. And she was selling those... Oops, sorry for the glare. She was selling those blending pack. So basically you do have all the fibers, or you can kind of spun it like this and just create an art yarn, or you can blend it, or you can just do whatever you want. It's not like a pre-made bat basically, but it would be probably what she would use to make a bat of. So there's some locks over here, there's some stellina over here, and some fibers, and they're all like in different shape of the processing of the fiber, so from locked to completely already mixed, which I kind of like. And I do want to spend more time on my blending board, and I don't have a lot of blending fiber options. Like I do have a lot of already like pre-blended, if you can call it like that, options, but I don't have a lot of free form. Let's try to see what happens if I do this with my blending board. And that's the reason why I bought this. Stellina coming out. So this is what I got fiber-wise. I decided to give a try to felting. And so I bought 2 small kits because I didn't want, I don't know if I'm going to like it or not. So I bought 2 small kits. One that I'm looking at it and reminds me that I should get on fairly soon because it's for Christmas. So those are Christmas Robin. The kit came with everything that you need to actually make the 2 of them. And so it contains the needle felting kit contains the wool, the needle, the foam pad, and the instructions with picture and decoration thread. Because they have like a little thread around their neck over here. To do it all, and it is made by the Fiber Arc, which you can find at fiberarc.com. And she's lovely. I've never heard of her before that day, and this was just great. I just loved how they look, and I want to put this on my tree if I get a Christmas tree. Because I still didn't buy a Christmas tree yet. We were Christmas tree shopping 2 weeks ago, and they were just starting to put stuff out, so we didn't find exactly what we wanted. And now I'm working a lot. Let's say it like that. I'm working a lot. So it really makes it hard for me and my partner to go Christmas tree shopping, and we are on 2 completely different schedules at the moment. Oh well. There's still a lot of, there's some time before Christmas. There's not a lot of time before Christmas, but there's still some time. So my only thing with this is because I've never did any needle felting before, I just really hope that my end product is gonna be this and not a horror version of it. So I'll see how that goes. I'll keep you guys posted on the progress of those 2 little guys, but I really hope they will end up like this with me making it. The second needle felting kit that I got is a little owl one, because all of you, at least if you are a returning viewer, you know how much I love owls. And so this is called the Great Horned Owl, and it is the needle felting kit for it. So this was the bag only with all the fiber in it, but I do also have the needle and the foam kit for it. So here we go. Look at this little guy. Look how cute he is. I just couldn't resist. It's a little owl. And this little guy I can keep around year round. Those two are a little bit more Christmassy. So that's why I got those two. I kind of have a feeling that I should do this one first as a trial to needle felting and get some experience, and then make those two. But Christmas is gonna be around the corner pretty fast. Let me know what you guys think. If I should just jump ahead on this one and see what happened with it and then make this one better, or vice versa. Let me know. So I got this. I also got my first it's not a needle minder, but a needle protector, if I can call it like that. I never had those before because I just didn't really know what it was. Well, I knew what the purpose of it was. I just didn't thought it was something really useful or that I really needed. And I saw those and I fell in love with it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a try. I'll buy two, and it's not gonna be lost. I'll still always gonna use them. It's just not something I would have been necessarily dragged to do. And I have to admit, this changed my life. Now I want a million of them. I want them all, and I want them on every project I'm doing. This is how much I love it. And I use it, a lot of people use it for socks and double pointed needles in it. So that you put your double pointed needles in it and then you snap it, and your socks would be coming out of here in the middle part between the two snaps. When I knit socks, I knit magic loop. When I knit project, every single one of my projects are knit on circular needles. And you can also use those with circular needles, which is amazing. And I love it. I simply love it. I didn't thought I would love it that much. And the first day that I've actually used it, I was like, this makes so much sense. Why did I waited so long before actually getting those? I don't know. But now I do. So I do have two. I do have this one. I'll show you. With little ladybugs and bumblebees and flowers, which I kind of liked, but I adored this one. The little fox one is adorable, and with the inside lining. And I have to say, I was looking into if there was a project bag like this to fit with it. There was not, but I would have loved a project bag of this little fox fabric. I would have bought it right away. And the ladybug inside lining is this. And those are made by Knitty Pie. And she is fantastic. She's a wonderful woman, and everything that she does is amazingly well made. So if you're looking into project bag or needle protectors or anything in that range, go and check her out, because what she does is great. The other things that I got is yarn, but the yarn is also part of the 2017 Year of Sock project. So I'm going to merge the two conversations together. I will start with the things that I've bought at Fiber Shinding, and I will go ahead and then go in the rest of the things that I had. So what I got from Fiber Shinding, let me put this here, might be better. Okay. So I got two things from Poppy Yarn and Fiber. Here's her tag. I bought one skein of her yarn before when I was at the Loop in Kensington, because she had a special colorways for them, and I just love it, and so I got it. But it was my first time actually seeing more of her product and meeting the lady, and that's one of the things why I like those fiber events, because you can actually meet the owners and see who they are and talk more to them about what they do and why they do it and how they do it and things like that. And I loved her. She was such a happy woman that it made me want to have my own yarn business. But yeah. So Poppy Yarn and Fiber. This is a gorgeous, I would say it's a dark gray, and there is light speckles of like dark blue and a little bit of darker green and some stellina, and it's just really subtle, but you do have all of those color changes in there, and I just really liked that dark color. It is Argento socks. And it is 438 yards for 100 gram. It is a 2-ply yarn. It is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% silver stellina. And it is in the color Merry Dancers. And what is great with Poppy Yarn and Fiber is that she is local to me. She is in my town, and I really like to encourage people, local people. So this one is, I kind of forgot it between then and now, but now I'm taking it out of the bag and I remember why I bought it. It's just gorgeous. So this is one of the 12. The other yarn is something that I wanted to try that I never had before, that I've tried before, and it is again by Poppy Yarn and Fiber, but it is a sock blank. So it's just going from white with spots of blues into it. And so I believe that this will make me 2 different pair of socks, while still being the same. They're going to be slightly different because it's not a symmetrical design, and I'm totally okay with that. I've never knitted with the sock blank before, so I can't wait to actually try it. It is a single strand of yarn, because I know some of the sock blank are double stranded, so that you can knit 2 at a time socks. And so this is a 1 strand. It is the single knit Fraser socks. It is 460 yards for 100 gram. It's a 4-ply, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and it is the Blue Moon colorway. So once again, Poppy Yarn and Fiber. So this is yarn number 2. And the other one that I bought, and this is the last thing that I got there, is the Prairie Dye Studio. It is also local to me. I've seen a lot of her on Instagram. I've seen a lot of my friends buying this yarn, and I just never did it before for multiple reasons, because, you know, you can't buy yarn every day. At least I can't. So I normally budget for yarn, and then a few times a year I go and buy a bunch, depending on how much I used. So Prairie Dye Studio. And look at this colors. I was clearly in a dark blue and green state of mind that day, clearly, because I do get a lot of that. But I do like how it goes from like really dark to kind of really light and everything in between. And so this is Anna's sock base, and it is 80% merino, 20% nylon. It is 400 yards for 115 grams, so a little bit of a thicker yarn. And it is the color Columbia Icefield. Like, I like this spot right here. Like, this half tells you everything about the yarn. It's gorgeous. And so this is yarn number 3, and this is all I got for fiber spinning. So all the rest were other stuff that I already had that I'm putting into my year of socks for 2017. So yarn number, sock number 4, because this is multiple yarns as you saw. This is a tiny ball of Arne and Carlos designs, and it is this design, but with this colorway, which I couldn't find anywhere. And when I went into Florida in the spring, my sister and I took the opportunity of going to a local yarn shop, and I did saw this one at that shop. So and I decided to get those 2 little white to go with it, to do a contrasting toes and heel. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough to do a cuff with it, but I would see. But this is a really small skein of yarn, so I may only be able to do 2 little shorty short socks with it. I'll have to see how much I can do with it, but that might be, sadly, what's gonna happen with this one. So here we go. Sock number 4. Let me show my other puppy yarn and fiber that I got at the Loop at Kensington. I did show this to you on a previous episode during the summer. Once again, blues. What can I say? Blues. And this was a special colorway for the Loop in Kensington. So this is not something that you can get on her shop. You can only get it at the Loop. And the colorway is bolo tie, and once again in the Fraser sock base. So sock number 5. Sock number 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 6. It is another company that is local to me. It is Yarn Inc. And what I liked about this yarn was it reminds me of the earth. Like, you have all the colors, like the cloud, the land, sky and seas, and some land. Like, it's really earthy to me, that color. It is a little bit on the thicker side, so I'll have to adjust for sure my stitch count on this one, but I think it could be really nice winter socks. And this is, it's a superwash worsted. It's 200 yards for 4 ounces. It is 100% superwash merino. And the colorway is Twisted Earth. Here you go. So, socks number 6. Socks number 7. I do have the tag of this somewhere, so I'll put the information below. This is something that I got in a shared package that I did in the spring. I did 2, so I'm not too sure which one that was. That was the Snappy Stitches swap that we did. And I kind of admit I like the mix of yellow gold and just the really light faded sparkles, not sparkles, just the little blue and reddish pink in there and a little bit of green in the mix of the yellow in there. I think this is going to be an amazing pair of socks, to be frankly honest. This was already skinned up because I brought it with me in one of my trip, and I packed way too much yarn on that trip, and I didn't knit it, but that's why it kind of has that funky shape now because it traveled a bit. So, 7. 8. This is my 8. I had this in my stash for a really long time, and it is the Lorna's Laced hand-dyed yarn. I got this on Craftsy for one of their sock, I think mystery sock along that they were doing, and I just ended up not doing it. I loved the yarn, but the pattern was not something that I was leaning towards, so I kept the yarn, and because I loved it, I did buy more of this yarn to have a little stash so that I can do like a shawl maybe or something. I did a shawl with this yarn and a white border. If you go on my Instagram account, you would be able to retrieve it, and it was from Devon's, one of Devon's pattern, who is Franco Knits, who's wonderful, and her patterns are great. So if you have a chance to go and get one of her patterns, go and do it. And I did use this one as the main body of the shawl, and it knitted up really, really nicely. And this is Soulmate. It is a 55 superwash merino, 50% nylon, and 30% Outlast viscose. Approximately 425 yards for 100 grams, and it is machine washable. It is in the color Aslan, which is the color 76. So this is going to be another pair of socks. I said 8, right? 8. Nine. It is one of those Regia Perfect, because it's not perfect, it's perfect. Skeins of yarn. I love those. I knitted one before in it was in a gray and blue colorway, and it ended up knit like a perfect 2 pair of socks. And so I got another one. This is it's more like a light blue with some cream and brown into it. And this is 459 yards for 100 gram. It is a 4-ply. Wow, I have trouble speaking this morning. I really need more coffee. And I don't see a color. there's a color number, and the color number is 07124. But it is a really nice pale blue with little cream and brown into it. And so basically, for those who doesn't know what the perfect Regia sock is that you do have your skeins and you do have those yellow threads in it. So you start knitting up at the end of the yellow thread and you start knit up. And then you have in the middle of your ball, in the layers, you will have another yellow thread in there that will indicate that it is the middle of the skein, and that when you will start knit it up after the second yellow strand, basically it tells you that you will have the same pattern on both to end up with this. Perfectly matching two pair of socks without having to change your yarn to make a pattern out. So I like that. So 9, 10, same thing again, perfect, but then I got it into a green and blue. 10, 11, I need to, this yarn also traveled a lot with me, and that's why it's a little bit messier. I really packed a lot of yarn on that trip, which I should have known better, but oh well. And this is a Crazy Zober ball. I had 2 Crazy Zober ball of that color because I originally wanted to make a shawl out of this, and then I really liked it, and so I wanted to make a pair of socks out of it. So I already have a pair of socks in the ball number 1 that I had, and this is ball number 2, but I do like, I mean, if you watched me, you know that I like barber pole, and this is such a nice barber pulling yarn. And so this is going to be, I don't have the tag anymore though. I mean, I probably have it somewhere, but not with me. This is, I need to take care of that. So this is going to be 11. And the one that I'm not sure that I'm going to use for my number 12 is another skein of the Laurel's Lace. And then what I would do is that I would do it in 2 different patterns to have 2 different socks. But I'm just not quite sure yet if I want to use 2 times the same yarn, or if I want to have 12 different sock completely. So this is the only one that I'm not sure if I'm going to use, because I already use it once. I'm not sure if I want to use it twice. So I'll see. I still have a couple of weeks to think about it, and we'll go from there, I think. But these are all, I can grab it all in my hands because some are skeins and some are not, but can I do this? I can't. I tried, but I can't. But these are my 12 options for my 17 year of socks, and I can't wait to put them in a bag and not know what I'm gonna knit that month, which I think is gonna be fun. I'm not gonna put any patterns with it, because I thought about putting the yarn with a pattern and then put that in the in a bag. But some of them, like those ones, don't need patterns at all. And what if I want to change the pattern on that month and I see something else in the meantime and I would enjoy something else better? So I think I'll leave the pattern on when I open the bag, and then I'll figure out how I knit it, if I just knit a plain vanilla sock or if I do a little something on it. But this is my 12 pair of socks for 2017. We'll see how that goes. If anybody wants to join me, you're more than welcome to. So basically what's going to happen is that you can knit a pair of socks for somebody else if that's what you want to do. That is totally fine with me. As long as you knit one pair of sock a month to put into the knit along. And at the end of the year, so like every month you can show us what you've done. Basically, the only thing that I want is that at the end of the year, you do have the 12 pictures of your pair of socks with the month that you knitted it. That's all. So if I knitted this one up in January, I just a photo of it, and then you just put the month that you did, knit it in, and then you go from there. So that will actually be able to knit a pair of socks for somebody else and give it away, because you know, sometimes you do have a lot of socks for yourself, and sometimes you just want to knit for somebody else as well. And this would be, I think that doing it this way actually allows you to be able to knit for somebody else without having to simply knit for yourself 12 pair of socks. Because I know I will probably, like I said in the last episode, I do knit a lot for other people, and this is just who I am. So I think most of those are going to be for me, though. I think this is a me moment, if I can say it like that. But there might be, like, maybe this one, since it's green, my partner may end up with it. I don't know. Who knows? But we'll see. So if you want to join, please leave a comment in the episode thread so that I know how many people would like to do it. If it's not popular, then it might just be an informal thing. If it gets a little bit more popular, then we can for sure make it a little bit bigger for everyone to be able to sneak in, and then have like a special thread, and then who knows, maybe a giveaway at the end of the year. We'll see. So I think this is all for me today. So thank you so much for everyone who watched until the end. I do really appreciate your support. Please if you want to leave a comment below, please feel free to leave a comment below. If you want to leave a comment in the Ravelry thread, please go ahead over there. I think I forgot to mention at the beginning. You can go under the Ravelry group tab and look for the Curl Pro Girl Knits podcast group. And you can also find me on Instagram and Ravelry at Curl Pro Girl Knits. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Goodbye.